In the early days of the Pacific War, as the skies above the Pacific raged with intense aerial combat, there was one aircraft that would prove itself a game-changer. It wasn't the most famous, nor the flashiest, but it was the most effective. The aircraft? The F6F Hellcat. It was an aircraft that turned the tide of the war, dominated the skies, and helped ensure that the United States Navy would emerge victorious in the Pacific theater. This is the story of how the F6F Hellcat became the best naval fighter of World War II, and how its design, firepower, and sheer resilience made it a weapon of unmatched power. A weapon that would change the course of the war and be remembered as one of the unsung heroes of the Pacific. By 1942, the United States Navy was engaged in a bitter struggle in the Pacific. The Japanese had established their dominance in the skies with the Mitsubishi A6M Zero, a highly maneuverable and fast fighter that had caused heavy losses to American pilots. The Zero was nearly untouchable in a dogfight, and despite the US Navy's attempts to counter it, the situation was dire. The United States Navy's primary fighter at the time, the F4F Wildcat, was sturdy and reliable, but couldn't compete with the Zero's superior speed and agility. With the tide of war shifting against the Allies, a new fighter was needed, one that could match the Zero in terms of performance and superiority. The solution came from an iconic American manufacturer, Grumman. Known for their rugged, battle-tested aircraft, Grumman was already the creator of the Wildcat. They set to work on a new fighter, one that would evolve from the Wildcat but have the speed, firepower, and maneuverability to challenge the Zero and give American pilots a fighting chance in the skies. The F6F Hellcat, designed in response to the Zero's dominance, was an evolutionary leap forward. Powered by the Pratt Whitney R-2800 double Wasp engine, the Hellcat could reach speeds of over 370 miles per hour. Grumman's design incorporated a larger wing area and sturdier airframe, creating a perfect balance of speed, maneuverability, and durability. One of the Hellcat's key features was its firepower. The aircraft was armed with 6 50-caliber machine guns, a formidable array capable of downing enemy aircraft in mere seconds. But it wasn't just about firepower. The Hellcat was designed to take punishment and keep flying. Grumman's signature ruggedness was incorporated into the Hellcat's frame, ensuring that it could absorb hits from enemy fire and still bring its pilot back to base. The Hellcat's landing gear was robust, allowing it to operate from the rough flight decks of aircraft carriers. Grumman engineers made sure the Hellcat could land after suffering damage, making it one of the most dependable aircraft in the Navy's arsenal. When the F6F Hellcat was deployed in combat, its effectiveness was immediately evident. The aircraft's first significant combat came during the Battle of the Philippine Sea in June 1944. The Hellcat faced off against the Japanese Navy's fighters, the Zeros. The results were astonishing. During the battle, Hellcat pilots scored an unprecedented victory. They shot down 300 Japanese aircraft with minimal losses. The Hellcat's speed, maneuverability, and firepower had leveled the playing field. For every Hellcat lost, over 5 Japanese aircraft were destroyed, a staggering kill-to-loss ratio that would remain unmatched. Pilot interview. When we took the Hellcats into battle, we knew we had something that could go toe-to-toe with the Zeros. The training was intense, but when we faced them in the air, the Hellcat proved itself again and again. The Hellcat's victory in the Philippine Sea was only the beginning. The aircraft played a pivotal role in the Battle of Leyte Gulf in October 1944, the largest naval battle of World War II. Over the course of the battle, Hellcats were responsible for taking down numerous enemy aircraft, crippling the Japanese fleet's ability to launch effective air attacks. One of the reasons the Hellcat was so successful in battle was its ability to outpace and outmaneuver the Zeros. Whereas the Japanese relied on dogfighting tactics, Hellcat pilots used their aircraft's superior endurance and firepower to maintain air superiority. They stayed out of the Zero's attack range while inflicting heavy damage from a distance. The Hellcat's ability to fly longer distances and carry heavier loads also made it indispensable for extended operations over the Pacific. Its adaptability, whether in close-range dogfights or long-range strikes, made it one of the most versatile fighters in the US Navy's arsenal. By the end of World War II, the Hellcat had destroyed more than 5,000 enemy aircraft, making it the highest-scoring naval fighter of the war. It was responsible for a staggering number of kills, outperforming even the legendary P-51 Mustang in the Pacific theater. The legacy of the Hellcat is defined not just by its victory count, but by its contributions to the success of Allied operations in the Pacific. It was instrumental in providing air cover for bombers, supporting naval operations, and maintaining control over vital airstrips in the Pacific Islands. The Hellcat also played a crucial role in the strategic bombing campaign against Japan, providing air superiority and ensuring that American bombers could attack without fear of Japanese fighters. The Hellcat helped bring Japan to its knees, contributing significantly to the ultimate victory in the Pacific. By the time Japan surrendered in 1945, the Hellcat had firmly established itself as the best naval fighter of World War II. It had secured the skies over the Pacific, destroyed thousands of enemy aircraft, and played a critical role in the final battles of the war. As Japan signed its surrender in September 1945, the F6F Hellcat had completed its mission. It had helped turn the tide of the war, ensuring that the United States Navy would dominate the skies for the remainder of the conflict. The F6F Hellcat's legacy is not just about the battles it won or the planes it shot down. It represents the ingenuity, the bravery, and the relentless spirit of those who flew it. Often overshadowed by other famous aircraft, the Hellcat was the true workhorse of the US Navy in the Pacific, and its contribution to the war effort can never be overstated. This expanded version provides greater depth into the Hellcat's design, its role in key battles, and its legacy. It also includes interviews and pilot experiences, making the story more personal and engaging.